Hello, Naz here again with another video. This time it's about the most recent PVP mode Onsal Hakair, or better known as Construct V2. I played well over 200 games in total before and after the forced freelancer change in patch 5.18 to get my mount. I have some tips and tricks I like to share with you so you can get your very own mount as well. Let's talk about the map. It's the most powerful tool in this game mode. Not only does it show you where the node spawns, but also shows you where your enemies are. Alright, for those of you who've been PvPing, you probably hear in Alliance chat that they tell you to keep your map open. But you're probably like, I don't want to, I can't. My map's way too big like this. It's gonna obscure my view when I fight in combat, right? Well, there's one simple trick you could do. On the bottom right, you could adjust your map size. Put it in a corner where you could still see, but it doesn't obscure your view in combat. And you're good to go. And for PlayStation users, you could do the same, even though you don't have a mouse. Hold down your L1 and press R3. It enters your virtual mode. Just go over with your right analog. Hold down with your L2. You could adjust it as well. Put it in that corner. And now you have no excuse not to have your map open. Now that we have our maps adjusted and ready to go, let's talk about node priorities and their worth. First thing you need to know is all nodes give their full values after capturing them for 30 seconds. This is because each node captured gives X points per server tick. The blue triangle gives 50 points. The red diamond gives 100 points. And the yellow pentagon gives 200 points. Once again though, this is all based on server ticks. So, blue actually gives 5 points a server tick for 10 ticks. Red gives 10 points a server tick for 10 ticks. And yellow gives 20 points a server tick for 10 ticks. Now that we understand how nodes function, let's talk about the new battle high introduced in patch 5.1. For every kill you get, it gives you 10 points towards your gauge. For every assist you get towards a kill, you get 2 points towards your gauge. While the latter seems so little, it adds up really quick, and I actually get around 20 to 30 assists a game, which is enough to get you to tier 1 or tier 2 of battle high very easily. There's 5 different tiers of battle high. Each tier is unlocked at 20 points of gauge, so 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100 points is where your tiers will be achieved. As you advance up each tier, damage dealt and healing potency is increased by 10% to a maximum of a whopping 50%. This is an insane advantage in combat and is what most winning teams will aim to get ASAP. Now that we see the importance of battle high, let's talk about kill priorities in battle. Whenever you get in a fight, try and pick off healers who are in the front lines. They're the life force of the enemy team. Each time one dies, the battle becomes easier and easier for your team to win. Now let's talk about those pesky range DPS. Bowcasters and physical range have a wide array of crowd control skills, making them valuable in picking off your team. Whether that be a bind, heavy, silent, sleep, or stun, these guys will sure annoy you. Now, for the powerhouses of PvP frontlines ever since patch 4.5, melees. They take 30% less damage and deal 15% more. These monsters should be focused down one at a time, otherwise you'll fall one by one as they slaughter through your team. Lastly, we have the annoying walls, tanks. Their main purpose is to lead the battle by soaking damage, harassing the team by preventing them from capping the Uvu, and helping their DPS focus down one of your allies. Before I forget, let's talk about medical kits and bolts. As of patch 5.18, every job now has access to 3 healing potions. They heal with a potency of 2000 up to 6000 the lower your HP gets. I cannot stress how many times these have saved me from numerous deaths. They also benefit from your battle high buff. Bolts is basically the PvP version of Sprint. Use it to secure the distance for a kill or get away to safety. Now that we have our kill order, let's talk about a very effective way from taking the lead away from the opposing team and dominating in combat. You've probably been on the receiving end of this more than you'd like. It's a pincer attack. It's where you're fighting one team, another team comes in on your rear and flank and tag teams with the enemy and wipes your team out. This attack is very successful because most healers in range will be in the back, safe from harm's way, while the tanks and melees are in the front line. While this is an effective combat formation in a 1v1, this fails in a 2v1 because the flanking team gets to pinch off your higher priority targets easily without having to fight through the front line. Every kill you get in Onsal as of patch 5.18 takes away 8 points from the enemy team and gives your team 8 points. Use this as often as you can to winning teams or teams who are close to catching up to your team. Knowing when your team can be on the receiving end of a pincer attack is very important, so you can start moving back and not get caught off guard. If your team does unfortunately end up in one, back off. Like seriously, just fall back until the two enemy teams retreat or start fighting each other. You will lose every time you try and fight two teams at once. Your teams will be split, making it a 24 versus 48. No one wants to play against those odds. I've lost quite a bit of games due to this, and I just want to help prevent you from experiencing the same. While fighting, you should mark your targets so your team knows to focus down that one enemy and then move on to the next. This is a lot better than fighting multiple enemies at once because there's no way a healer can keep one person alive from taking multiple hits from multiple allies. Use this in every fight to chew down the enemy team one by one until there's nothing left. In the description, you could find a copy of all the macros I've used to help myself in combat. Lastly, let's talk about not being that guy. You see that guy right now on his mount while we're trying to fight to stay alive? Yeah, you don't want to be that guy. He is limped. Limp happens when you're on your mount and you get hit. It puts a nasty heavy on you for 10 seconds and it gets fully refreshed if you're hit again while you're mounted. If you're ever caught limped, get off your mount ASAP. You're defenseless staying on your mount. Not only can you not fight back the enemy or enemies attacking you, but you can't use any healing or defensive skills. Your job has to keep you alive. You're also useless to any allies trying to assist in keeping you alive. Just don't be that guy. That's all I have for you guys. Hopefully these tips and tricks will help in getting you 100 wins. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe for future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield as I go for the 300 win achievement.